BBC4 Collections, specially chosen programmes from the BBC archive. For this collection, Sir Michael Parkinson has selected BBC interviews with influential figures of the 20th century. More programmes on this theme and other BBC4 collections are available on BBC iPlayer.
Mr. Dalí, we're going to talk in English, which I know is not your language, but I'm sure you're going to manage wonderfully. Possible, otherwise I shall be torn limb from limb. The first question that I wanted to put you, it really ought to be about modern art, but I can't help it. There's some delicious frivolity in you which makes me ask it, is how did you manage to produce those marvellous moustaches?
In the beginning of this moustache, use one very natural product, the dates, you know, the fruit.
I know.
In the last moment of dinner, not clean my fingers.
Yes.
Only put a little in my moustache, remain for all afternoon, very
Standing up.
efficiently.
Well, and that's how it began.
Yes, but now use one real product, very good, in the Place Vendôme, is Hungarian wax.
Oh, yes.
Pinot. It's very well-known wax. Is already Proust, Marcel Proust used the same.
Yes, but his was a little pointed one, wasn't it? It didn't have a splendid upturn like yours.
Yes, this wax, use this wax in one other manner, in one other mood, in one depressing psychosis way.
Yes, I see.
A little depressing and melancholic. My moustache, contrary, is very gay, very pointed, very aggressive.
Do you have any trouble with it at night? I mean, do you have to peg it or anything like that, or does it stand up at night?
No, in the night, clean every night. Every coming soft, sleep.
So at night it droops down while you're sleeping.
Completely.
And then in the morning up she goes again.
3 minutes. Only in 3 minutes fix my moustache.
And then you feel you can face the world with that wonderful moustache standing up.
Yes, because every day becoming much more practical for my inspiration.
Well, I'm fascinated to know that. Mr. Dalí, you've come over, haven't you, to paint a portrait of Laurence Olivier?
Yes, exactly.
How's it going?
It's very good, very good. Only work 15 minutes is almost complete.
You did the whole thing in 15 minutes?
Sur Laurence, taking 2 hours for put the makeup, the nose, everything. And myself in 15 minutes accomplish the portrait. Now it's necessary only realization of this portrait. This is perhaps 1 month.
But it's
everything is in my mean very clear and very violent.
Is it going to be what we would regard perhaps in our old-fashioned way as a somewhat eccentric picture? Is it going to have lobsters and things like that in it, or is it just going to be like him?
This portrait, in my opinion, is perhaps one of the most sensational. It's not possible talk nothing in advance, because everything is possible happen in my center, representing the totem of this.
I can't wait to see it. When should we have
very
it?
aggressive animal, you know, very
I know. Yes. Mr. Dalí, who, apart from yourself, would you regard as a good portrait painter today?
Myself believe there no exist one
Who?
in modern time.
Nobody at all. Have you ever
Picasso is the only possible create extraordinary good portraits. May not like it, this kind of activity.
Augustus John, have you ever seen any of his portraits?
It's a very big ability in the drawing, very good draftsmanship in the drawing, but the painting appear me the same characteristics of the other English painters, you know, very dirty and very melancholy, sad and depressing, very depressing.
You feel that our art as a whole suffers from an undue excess of melancholy, really? Much melancholy. I noticed you'd been to see some exhibition and there was a donkey there in it. And
yes, just can talk about this melancholy. Remember this exhibit, of one of these is very young British painters. Everyone paint the more sad and melancholic kind of animals, fish, people, houses. Everything very dirty also, only the more dirty colors and the more depressing effects.
Now, why do you think that is? Why should they all be so sad? Why should they paint this poor old donkey with such a sad,
This
sad
is
look?
one understand the reason that these young people is so melancholic, no understand?
No.
Because myself believe, contrary, que the modern atomic age is very gay. Everybody every day more sad, more depressing. No like it abstract painting because believe it's only one part of it's one decorative art, but these paintings of New York is plenty of vitality.
And on the whole, rather
Enormous vitality, completely explosive.
Would you still call yourself a surrealist as a painter? You were originally, you belonged to the school of surrealism in Paris.
Myself believe that now, myself is the only surrealist continued academic school, avec no personality. He also collapsed in this kind of sadness and melancholy of the other kind of modern schools.
I see. So that really you feel that surrealism, having started when you were with it as very gay...
Life. The moment of myself is very big interest in psychoanalysis, coming in London for meet Dr. Freud. But now my interest is only about the tremendous progress of nuclear research and nuclear physics.
And so really that represented a phase in your career, those jokes that we all knew about. And now you move on and all your life will be to the rhythm of atomic explosion.
Exactly. One new kind of atomic and nuclear mysticism.
Well, thank you very much. That's a fascinating phrase, nuclear mysticism.